All right, welcome back to the channel. So Bernard Hopkins and Ryan Garcia both say a fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis is coming soon. Let's talk about that and a major hurdle for Golden Boy Promotions as it relates to Ryan Garcia in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So let's chop it up about Gervonta Tank Davis, Lil Tank. He is a star. And Ryan Garcia, an up-and-coming star out for Golden Boy Promotions, pretty boy type of fighter. And not Golden Boy type of fighter, pretty boy type of fighter, kind of in the lines of, Oscar De La Hoya, up-and-coming young lightweight that just got done knocking out a couple people with first round, just lay you out flat type knockouts, and whose career was on an upward trajectory. But then all of a sudden, the coronavirus hits and boxing shuts down. So he is kind of left stagnant like everybody else. And he ain't too happy about how this stagnation is playing out. Now, he is asked about Gervonta Tank Davis, and Bernard Hopkins also talks about Gervonta Tank Davis, a fight between the two. Now, why would that fight be so significant? Not because of the levels of the fighters. That's my take on it. It's not because of the level of the fighter. Gervonta Davis is on a different level right now than Ryan Garcia. He's already won a belt at 130 pounds, 2 belts at 130 pounds, the IBF belt, then he won the WBA belt. And then after that, he moved up to 135 pounds and he won the WBA regular belt. So now he is a title holder in 2 different divisions, and he is, I do believe, shout out to Ashley's Corner who answered my question. He's on a 14 streak knockout, a 14 streak knockout win streak. I guess that's how you're supposed to say it. A 14 knockouts in a row, and it's just looking like an absolute killer out there in the ring. Now, there's a bunch of people trying to find a way to tear at Gervonta Davis, but Gervonta Davis, man, he's the man right now. It's what it is. Pretty much everybody in the lightweight division acknowledge who's the big money man in the division is, and you have to acknowledge that the dude is a world-class level fighter because you've seen him in the ring. Now, the reason why the Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia fight would be so significant is because of the fanfare around the way that Ryan Garcia looks. That's like the only reason, right? At this stage, because other than that, he really is just a prospect. He's not he's not stepped up and fought any type of real elite level competition, right? I think he's fought, there's the Jason Duno and the Francisco Fonseca. Now, Francisco Fonseca is a guy that Gervonta Davis had fought before and knocked out, but I think he knocked him out in the later round, 7th, 8th round, something like that. It took him a while to get to Fonseca, and that was on the undercard of the Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Conor McGregor fight. Francisco Fonseca was just wasn't really committing to anything, and he was trying to get Gervonta Davis to take the lead. And as a result, Gervonta Davis had to try to figure out how he could get to Fonseca. But eventually he found him. He got him out of there. That fight was not like that for Ryan Garcia. For Ryan Garcia, he clipped him. He clipped him, got him out of there real quick. I don't think it might have been a right hook that he clipped him with. But Ryan Garcia got very, very fast hands. He's got very, very solid pop. But the question for Ryan Garcia, and I think also for guys like even a Jaron Ennis, right? For me, is like, can you take a shot though? You look good to what you're doing right now, but are you going to be able to take a shot when that lands? I do believe that Jaron Ennis is a much better fighter than Ryan Garcia, but still that thought process is there for me. But the reason why the fight between Gervonta Davis and Tank is big is because, again, how Ryan Garcia looks and the fact that people believe that women are going to want to watch Ryan Garcia fight. And as a result, that's a whole nother demographic that brings a lot of money to the table. So if Ryan Garcia can bring that demographic to the table against a fight with Gervonta Davis brings his fan base, which is considerable. Gervonta Davis is the only guy that I know right now that is selling out stadiums in LA, in Atlanta, in New York and in Baltimore. I mean, that's like, that's the West Coast, deep South, Midwest, and out East. Well, no, I guess you would call Baltimore out East. So East Coast. So East Coast, the South, and the West Coast, that this dude can sell out and get fans in any one of those places. That tells you that he really does have some breadth and really does have some reach to his popularity. So that's why these guys want to make that fight happen. Now, as for it happening right now for Ryan Garcia, you know, there's a bigger hurdle that Ryan Garcia has to overcome. And that's the fact that he is hot, and I think rightfully so. Rightfully so. He's hot about the $200,000 that he was offered to fight for his last fight. Now, normal people, right, would say, hey, you know, $200,000, and, you know, that ain't a bad clip. If you're fighting somebody that you know that you can beat and it's, you know, no big deal, you can pick up $200,000, get another quick knockout, you know, for people to see, and it builds your, and it builds your credibility, it builds your name. You know, hey, man, why not do it? Well, in reading what Oscar De La Hoya said about Ryan Garcia and why Ryan Garcia was mad, I get it now. Because Bernard Hopkins said that Ryan was upset when he found out that Shakur Stevenson made $400,000 for the fight that he just had on ESPN, but yet Golden Boy and I suppose DAZN was trying to pay him Ryan Garcia only $200,000. So Ryan Garcia would be getting half the money that Shakur Stevenson is getting. Now, the only difference between Ryan Garcia in the ring, between Ryan Garcia and Shakur Stevenson at this point, is that Shakur Stevenson got the WBO belt, right? Now, my opinion on the WBO belt is like, that's a top rank belt. Like, I don't even think a top ranked fighter should be considered a champion until they get the WBC, the WBA, or the IBF. Because the WBO comes with, it seems like the WBO comes with your contract, comes with your signing, like it did with Vasily Lomachenko. Like, hey, I'm only going to sign with you if I get a championship shot in my first fight. And Bob was like, I can't do first. We can do second, though. Okay, yeah. And then he gets a shot at the WBO belt in the second in his second fight. How can you promise that? How can a promoter promise that to a fighter and deliver without having major influence with that sanctioning body? So for me, the only difference between Ryan Garcia and Shakur Stevenson as far as who they've beaten in the ring at this point in time is that the WBO gave Shakur Stevenson a belt for doing it. But other than that, I mean, the level of their competition is about what and what. The amount of tickets that they're selling and the popularity associated with them, from my understanding at least, is from all appearances, because sometimes they can be funny, that Ryan Garcia is the bigger draw. So if Ryan Garcia is the bigger draw, then why is Shakur Stevenson making more money? And the answer to that is this: the Golden Boy can't afford to pay the money. Because Golden Boy only has two fighters. They only got one fighter. The whole thing got one fighter, one legitimate fighter in Golden Boy Promotions. That's Canelo Alvarez. My understanding is that Canelo Alvarez, as much as 75, 90%, it might have been 90% at a point in time, 90% of their revenue. So if he's 90% of the revenue and he ain't fighting, they got operational costs they need to pay. As a result, hey, we can't give you all of this licensing fee, man, because the licensing fee is lower and we got to pay out of pocket for a bunch of stuff. Nah, we need this bigger cut out of that, which is why Ryan Garcia winds up with $200,000 when Shakur Stevenson is getting $400,000. If I was Ryan Garcia, I would be hot about that too. But Ryan, that just tells you what Jamal Charlo told you was correct. You got to get up out of there, man. You got to get up out of there. And Golden Boy right away, they were like right away with this is what I think about Golden Boy. I don't think that Golden Boy really believes in Ryan Garcia. I think that they believe in the looks, but I don't think that they believe in the fighter, man. Because otherwise you wouldn't be taking the chances. You wouldn't be taking the chances with the guy like you're taking. right? And they moved right on, though. When Ryan Garcia said that he wasn't going to take the fight, hey, Oscar De La Hoya got, probably sniffed a couple and got out there and immediately was like, hey, the future of boxing really is Virgil Ortiz. So, hey, we're not going to give Ryan Garcia this fight. We'll give it to Virgil Ortiz and we make out better anyway. And they probably do because Virgil Ortiz is a better fighter. But the whole thing is funny to me. I certainly hope that the Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis fight does happen. But more than likely, Ryan Garcia is going to get absolutely positively mopped. Oscar De La Hoya and those guys know it, so they'll push it back a little bit, but hopefully it'll happen soon, and Ryan Garcia can get the money that he probably does deserve because, hey, man, it was he that was born looking like an Abercrombie and Fitch model. So, hey, let him get his paper, man. Don't ball hog it and keep it for, to pay for Oscar De La Hoya's party treats. If you know what I mean. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.